Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack what is arguably one of the most critical shifts happening in the digital landscape right now. We're pulling our insights today directly from Jaspreet Singh's groundbreaking book, Mastering Generative Engine Optimization, the 2026 Visibility Blueprint. If you've been feeling like the ground beneath your digital strategy is just completely shifting, well, you are absolutely right. The entire way information is consumed online is undergoing this massive transformation. So today, we're going to break down exactly what that means for us, and really more importantly, how we can actually adapt to it.
So, will AI ever recommend your brand? It's a pretty direct, almost terrifying question, isn't it? I mean, for years, the ultimate goal was so simple, right? Get the user to click your link. Done. But now we actually have to pause and ask ourselves if the artificial intelligence systems that literally millions of people consult every single day even know we exist. If you've been feeling a growing anxiety about your brand's survival in this wild new digital landscape, consider that feeling completely validated. Because this right here, this is the new battleground. And here's the stark reality we're facing. Millions of people are getting the answers they need without ever clicking a single search result. Actually, recent industry data points to zero-click search is just completely dominating the landscape, causing this massive drop in traditional organic click-through rates. Think about it. People aren't scrolling through those 10 blue links anymore. They ask a question, and boom, they get a synthesized complete answer immediately. The traditional search click, the metric we've literally built entire industries around, is effectively dying. And if users are completely bypassing search results entirely, those traditional pathways to your website, they're fundamentally broken.
Which brings us to this big number, 20. For 2 solid decades, 20 years, businesses, marketers, and creators have just competed relentlessly for Google rankings and that coveted page 1 placement. Just think about the countless hours, the massive budgets, the endless strategies poured into that single pursuit over 20 long years. And now, almost overnight, this entirely new reality has arrived, forcing us to question the viability of that entire 20-year-old playbook. Crazy, right?
So here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll cover the death of clicks. Second, the rise of answer engines. Third, how AI evaluates trust. And finally, your 2026 visibility blueprint.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the death of clicks.
Look, people are actively turning to platforms like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, and Google's very own AI overviews. But they aren't just going there to find information, they want to synthesize it. These large language models don't just point you to a destination anymore. They read, digest, and summarize the destination for you. So the absolute critical takeaway here is this. If your brand or your content isn't being cited by these specific platforms, you are entirely missing out on a massive, growing slice of potential visibility. You're effectively invisible to the people using these generative tools.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive paradigm shift we're undergoing. We are officially moving from a directory to a synthesizer. In the old era, you were just competing for Google rankings and a slot on page 1. It was basically a giant digital directory. But the new era, it involves AI actively synthesizing information, actually forming opinions based on the data it consumes, and then recommending sources directly to the user. We've gone from a librarian pointing at a dusty shelf to an expert giving you a fully customized briefing. It's a whole new world.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, rise of answer engines.
Enter GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization. Now, this is the practice of adapting your digital presence specifically for these AI-powered answer engines. We have got to completely move away from recycled SEO advice that just, slaps a new label on an old tactic. It's no longer about cramming in keywords or matching exact search phrases. Not anymore. It's all about natural language relevance and proving deep, undeniable topical authority to these large language models. GEO is really about recognizing this entirely new layer of search and properly optimizing for it.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that GEO actually doesn't work alone. It pairs with AEO, Answer Engine Optimization. AEO is this absolutely critical component of the integrated system you're going to need for 2026. Because while GEO focuses on adapting to the overarching generative models themselves, AEO makes sure your specific content is structured perfectly to provide the exact direct answers these engines are looking to extract and serve up to users. They basically work hand in hand to build out your comprehensive visibility. Just to contextualize the sheer scale of the disruption we are talking about here, Jaspreet Singh's book identifies this as the biggest shift in online visibility since Google's historic Panda update. For those of you who remember Panda, it completely upended the web overnight. I mean, it was wild. That is the level of stakes we are dealing with right now.
It isn't just a trend, it is a fundamental rewiring of the internet's traffic systems.
Which leads us to Section 3, how AI evaluates trust. Let's peek inside the black box. Jaspreet Singh puts it perfectly in the book, saying, "This book goes deeper into how large language models actually evaluate trustworthiness, why some brands get cited repeatedly, in contrast, others remain invisible. It really drives home the point that standard marketing tactics just aren't cutting it anymore. You literally can't just spam keywords and cross your fingers hoping an LLM thinks you're authoritative. It's way smarter than that now."
And this dynamic creates what we call the AI visibility gap. Recycled SEO advice completely fails here because AI evaluates underlying trustworthiness. So what does that actually mean for a bot? Well, it means the AI is actively looking for deep, verifiable authority by cross-referencing your claims across the entire web. It's not just passively reading the perfectly optimized copy you threw on your homepage. This is exactly why you see some brands getting cited repeatedly by ChatGPT or Perplexity, while others remain completely, 100% invisible. Surface-level tweaks simply won't trick a large language model anymore.
Okay, so how do we actually fix this? Let's get into Section 4, your 2026 Visibility Blueprint.
So the crucial point is this integrated system outlined in the book. It's built on 3 essential pillars. First up, entity SEO. This means structuring your brand so AI recognizes you as a distinct thing with fixed properties and actual expertise, not just a random string of keywords floating on a web page. Second is knowledge graph optimization. This is where you connect your newly defined entity to other trusted authorities in your space, basically building a web of digital proof so the AI clearly sees your relationships within the whole industry ecosystem. And third, AI citation tracking. You have to actively prompt these engines and monitor if, when, and exactly how they cite you, so you can continuously refine your inputs. You absolutely need all 3 of these functioning seamlessly together if you're going to cross that visibility gap.
So you might be wondering who actually needs to implement this today. Well, if you're an SEO professional, this is exactly how you adapt to AI rather than becoming totally obsolete. If you're a content marketer, this is your playbook for building long-term brand authority right now. Digital agency owners, you need this to advise your clients on future-ready strategies. And business owners simply must act on this shift to protect their revenue. Honestly, this strategy is meticulously designed to future-proof all of these roles.
Ultimately, what you are aiming for here is not some one-off viral hit or a temporary growth hack. No, you are building a systematic, repeatable approach to AI visibility. Becoming an AI-recommended brand isn't magic, and it definitely doesn't happen by accident. It requires this dedicated, systematic approach to how you structure your information, how you build your entities, and how you manage your entire knowledge graph presence.
I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. If an AI speaks today, does it say your name? Seriously, when a user asks Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT for the best solution in your industry, are you the answer, or are you entirely absent from the AI's mind? The transition to answer engines isn't coming. It's already here. It is time to build your 2026 visibility blueprint and ensure that when the AI speaks, it's recommending you. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.